welcome. This is Evolving the Conversation podcast. I am Melissa here with my co host, Nick.
Melissa, how's
Yes,
it
Nick.
going? How's it going?
It's
What are we going to talk
going.
about today?
I think on deck is to be talking about going more in depth into the ayahuasca experience that I had in September. We talked a little bit about it,
Yeah, and we wanted to go more in depth
but
because I
yeah,
hogged up a lot of the time then.
it wasn't hugging.
Uh, yeah, well, that sounds great. Let's mention our sponsor today since we got a new sponsor. Hell yeah,
That's exciting.
it is. So today our sponsor is Young You Organics, where you can come and you can get this white sage spray, and it smells really pleasant. And I got some right here. And I've been using it to spray over my pillowcase at night over the past two
Mm.
days. And actually, I've been noticing my dream space has been really opened up, and I'm pretty sure it has protected my dieta in the first in the first time that I used it, because I had some food dreams and and some sex dreams that I had to say no, 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 no to. How have
Mm,
you been
mm, mm,
using it?
mm, mm. Yeah, I spray it. Here's mine. I spray it all the time, actually, just as a little reminder of myself to check in, I suppose, with myself and with whatever spirits that I am choosing to work with. I also spray it before bed for my kids
Hmm.
and for myself too, reminding them of sanctuary and all the spirits that are available to help and support us.
That's
I got them
awesome.
hooked.
Nice, nice, very nice. Yeah, what's in this anyway? We got we got some white sage essential oil, clary sage essential oil, palo santo essential oil, lemongrass, rosemary, sea salt, and blue apatite crystals. Yeah, it's a lovely mix. Shout out to our friend Vika for hooking us up.
Yeah, I also think that she uses a special Icaro or communication with the spirits in order to make the product. That
Mm,
way, it's infused with the spirits that do help with clarity and protection and clearing energy.
yeah,
Yeah.
shamanic smudge spray.
Yeah, I use it too a lot before I do my work with people and during my work with people.
Mm, that's nice.
Hmm.
Yeah, and you don't get like a smoky kind of smell either. So it's quite pleasant. I highly recommend it.
I recommend it as well. Two thumbs up. So check that
Yes.
out. You could buy it on Amazon,
Amazon, Walmart,
Walmart.
white sage smudge spray. And I don't want to get this name wrong again. Young You Organics. I had that flipped before and I anyway. So yeah, check it out.
Yeah, and let us know. How'd we do on our first commercial?
Yeah, right.
We got to celebrate that.
Yeah, it's a win. A
I
big
actually
win.
used to work for an advertising company, network, network radio.
Network radio. What did
Mhm.
you do?
I was an assistant network radio buyer. Mostly like, what did I do? We went out to a lot of lunches.
Sounds
It's a
nice.
very a social relationship building field. I checked contracts. I did a lot of Excel spreadsheets.
Hmm, nice.
Yeah, it was all right. It
Sounds
was a very nice company, actually, though.
sounds fun to get to go on a lot of
Horizon
lunches.
Media. They're an independent, I don't know about them now, but at the time they were like the largest independently owned advertising agency. And they were actually very, very kind and supportive employers.
It's always a good thing.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
agree.
So let's get into it. So
Let's
you went
go.
down in
Let's go.
September and you did an ayahuasca retreat and you had 4 ayahuasca ceremonies in 6 days.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So take it away. Let us know your experience and what all you went through and how you're integrating it now that, you're back home.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot to integrate this time around. I mean, there always is a lot to integrate. Um, and also, I mean, I suppose it depends on the intentions. We've talked about this here. I have the intention of, it started out to release duality. Um, and then I kind of reframed the intention, trying to focus more on, I mean, of course, sometimes you're going to like, there's let stuff go, but trying to focus more on like what I actually want instead of the the negative. So, reframing, releasing duality into moving into like the consciousness that is like unity consciousness or Christ consciousness or the next level, the next stage of consciousness, sanctuary consciousness, whatever you want to call that. So I feel like a lot of the experience that I had was involving that, um, releasing a lot of struggle, letting go of a lot of these habitual ingrained patterns in the way that I think and in the way that my mind operates. I also think prior to this ayahuasca retreat, so these 4 ceremonies, I had worked in July and then when I came home, so around in August, doing two dietas, so dieting different master plant teachers from the Amazon. So I feel like that also really kind of dug up a lot of stuff that I had to purge out. So overall, it was really a challenging experience. I think also I'm continuing to work on releasing a lot of fear and doubt. So there was a lot to let go of, and yeah, it was kind of uncomfortable.
Mm. And you started another dieta too, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm
Like,
actually finished with that. As soon as I got home, we went into another dieta and we did again the trees from the Amazon, so the master plant teachers. And yeah, and I think I did about 7 days. So I started on a Monday and ended on a Monday. We did a 3-day water fast, and then the rest of the time eating the traditional food that's required. Well, the hybrid of tradition food, because now it includes some rice, which wasn't
mm,
included before. A lot of lemongrass tea, the chicken, plantains, eggs with no salt or oils, the no touching, no soap. I tried to stick to that one as best I can, and I do always touch my kids. Yeah, no sex. I too have been having a lot of dreams where I've had to stop myself. It's weird. Like I'm not even having sex. There's just like no one. There's just or nothing. It's just like these feelings that are being generated in my body, and I'm like, no, you have to stop. So I guess a lot of testing with that as well. I've also had these 2 dreams now where um, one was that I was in where someone was cleaning out like a lake or a pond, and I was then swimming through it, and on the other side of it, and there were all these I don't know if they were like amoebas or what's the parasites or something, and I had to like avoid stepping on them. And then 2 nights ago, I had another dream where like little like they weren't snakes, but little like again, I would call them maybe like parasites or coming out of like this food that was near me. So I don't know. I think I've just been purging out a lot of garbage. Also, I think that the ayahuasca, the medicine continues to, I mean, it works with you for the rest of your life if you choose to do so, working with the spirits, but the medicine actually continues to work in your body for, I think, up to like 6 months afterwards.
Yeah, so you've got a few more months, huh? Definitely.
Hmm.
You've been shaking up your snow globe with all the dietas and the July experience you had at the Blue Morpho Lodge and then September.
Yeah, yeah, that is a good visual for me because right, I'm right now in the middle of all of the, I think it's every getting shook.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of uncomfortable, to be honest.
Mm,
Yeah, it's different. Usually, or typically in my experience, I leave the ayahuasca ceremonies just feeling like really like high, for lack of a better word coming right to mind, just like really good and like ready to go. I usually do hit a kind of like bump in the road. And I think I'm learning that it's kind of like the pieces that aren't ready to quite come on the ride, come on board, those pieces that need a little bit more holding or encouragement or let's they're just not ready to move on with everything else. But this time I feel like everything's just not ready to really move on.
mm. So how have you been staying grounded in your practices with all of this that has been unfolding for you?
Yeah, well, using my smudge spray.
The
Seriously
smudge
though, I
spray,
spray
yeah.
it all day long.
Nice, nice.
I have like one up here in my office, I have one next to my bed, I have one at the sink, I have one in my son's room.
You're ready to go.
I'm dousing myself in Palo Santo. I've been working with Palo Santo for such a long time, so really relying on that spirit. Oh, I invoke the sanctuary all the time. I call on all of the spirits that I've been working with to help me. I've learned that I have to be a little bit more commanding with them. I think we talked about this last time. I was saying how I was asking God to like boss me around.
Oh yeah.
Tell me what to do. I have this old, I don't know, desire for people to just tell me what to do, like tell me which way to go. And I'm realizing I really have to lean on my own intuition and knowing, which I'm not quite sure how developed that it was.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, especially too, if you're coming from, I mean, I could only speak for me personally, but for me, coming from sort of like a Methodist type of religious background, you're taught like that God is somehow like this separate entity and that you need to go like plead and beg God for something good to happen in your life. But actually, it's kind of interesting. The last call that we were on with our mutual friend, you guys actually really helped me flip that one. And so just as a little story, like I was in my job and I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I was like, God, I'm going to be doing this and you're fucking gonna help me, god damn it. I probably shouldn't have been so like but I mean essentially I was like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. And you know what? I could use some help. Help me. And then it went back to the first tenet of sanctuary. It's like, oh wait, I'm just the one doing this. Okay. So yeah, if sanctuary or the all or God is in through and all around everything and everyone. That includes myself. So like I'm gonna support my own decisions because I know my decisions are really rooted in positivity and helping myself and others and really gaining knowledge and wisdom and for that divine medicine and that you really, channeling the divine intelligence of, your own spark of divinity
Yeah.
or my
Yeah.
own.
So going back to the sanctuary, the first tenet or principle is what you said, that God or source or divinity or love or universe is in, through, and all around everything. So originally, I don't know, originally, that might not be the right word. Traditionally, many of us are taught, like you said, that God is something outside of us, that God is up in the sky somewhere in heaven, waiting for us all in heaven if we
Where
make it
are
there.
you?
Or if we go through the right motions and ask for the right forgiveness. And
Hmm.
so sanctuary helps us to create a space where it's a reflection of what is the actual nature of our reality, that divinity is actually in, through, and all around us. Yeah. Yeah. This is a lesson that I've been learning about God, that you could more so, yeah, I don't know if command is the right word, but direct.
Direct. I like that word. That's a good word.
Direct. I mean, it is a little bit, it is being more direct. And I think it is taking more of a role of like, right, like, teach me how to do this, or like, this is my intention. Like, give me the help that I am asking for so I could do this and let's do it, rather than sitting there like, please, God.
Mm,
I,
mm-hmm.
I think it, and not to say that it's like a victim one way or the other way is better, but it is just a different approach. And what I also want to say, you said my understanding for myself, where I wasn't so trusting of myself or my intuition. And I think that for me comes from my childhood, and not having, my parents did the best that they could, as we've talked about this, as have all parents, always doing the best they could. But for example, maybe having a lot of like, don't do it this way, do it that way, which then leads you to not trust the way you are doing it, or maybe feeling like something's not right, but your parents doing the best they can and being like, oh no, no, but this is right, like, this is the way we're going to do it, and not acknowledging maybe a feeling or an emotion that was present and kind of denying your reality. So I think all of those things could really lead a person to not trust their instincts, to not trust themselves, to not trust their intuition. I think too, a lot of times, like, our instinctual way of acting may be kind of tamped down or clamped down to meet society's or parents' expectations, or even just to help them feel comfortable and not have to deal with things. So I think that's a lot of what I'm kind of like butting up against right now. Like, these younger pieces that are just like stuck in, whatever phase that they're in, stuck in whatever kind of like scared, not trusting, unsure, place, fear, all this like kind of like lack consciousness. Whereas like the rest of me is like, let's go. But we're not going until everyone's on board.
Mm, mm. So you've been deepening your intuitive practices by utilizing sanctuary consciousness to just, know that you're safe, even going through all the muck.
I suppose so. Thank you for verbalizing that. Yeah.
It's like something you said in the in the previous episode. Your shadow deserves more love, not less.
Mm, yeah, totally, totally. Yeah, I mean, I for sure understand, right? Like those shadow bits are just exactly like what we were talking about, those pieces that someone else, for whatever reason, couldn't, didn't, wouldn't deal with. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with any of them. I think that was like a big lesson for me going back to the ceremonies. So they were 3 out of 4 of them were pretty uncomfortable. And like my vision was very dark. Like almost everything was really dark. Um, like I didn't even see many like patterns or colors, which sometimes I don't anyway, but it's just not usually so dark. And there was just like a lot of uncomfortable body feelings and a lot of all this like stuff just coming out of my head or my mind. And then there would be bits and pieces that were comfortable or good or positive in the ceremonies. And then, in the mornings after, I would slowly recover and realize, right, like it's all medicine. It's not really bad. It's not really good. It's just, it all just really is.
So with it being a medicine, how has it helped you get better, or how has it helped you alleviate something that might have needed to be alleviated?
I guess what's happening right now is the medicine, along with my intentions, are causing me to, yeah, see these parts of myself that I didn't really know were there, and to, I don't want to say confront, but yeah, just really be a witness to these parts of myself and just having to love them and love myself through it as best I can and use my awareness to recognize some of the behaviors that I'm engaging in right now that aren't super healthy, and just having to continually decide to, yeah, to stick with my decisions, to stick with my intentions, and to just do the fucking work.
It's beautiful. It's really beautiful that, you're dedicated to, the medicine.
Well, thank you. I mean, because between me and you and everyone else listening, to be honest, no, I have been doubting. I'm like, is this medicine really like helping me?
It seems like the doubt's totally normal, you know?
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
mean, we've talked about the doubt. It's almost like sometimes it's hard to even know like what's the doubt and oh, versus like right, what is actual, I don't want to say real, me, or like, you know, my inner knowing, because I feel like the doubt's just been so prevalent and so present, and maybe the louder voice.
mm. Yeah, and then doubt's like it can be a really big struggle too, because the spirit of doubt can mimic many, many things. And but at the end of the day, it doesn't really hold validity. The only thing it's going to try to get you to do is really stop what you're currently doing and, go do something else. And it's also going to convince you that there's more than one possibility. So, you said like that you're holding these intentions and these intentions are based in medicine. The doubt's going to try to poke holes at that, you know? And what you need to do is you need to just, hold that light and direct that light like a lantern, direct that light, and, just don't even pay any attention to the doubt. Don't give it anything. Don't even give it a high. Just plain right through it.
Yeah,
And it's easier said than like, and
it
that's what I'm
really
saying. Like
is.
that it's a challenge. It's a really, it is a challenge for sure. It's just such a big challenge, and to even like recognize it. But just stick with your core guides who you know are based in truth and are based in honesty and are based in integrity. And, those guides are going to be able to guide you through it and just be like, yep, that's the doubt. Disengage with that thing.
Yeah, maybe I need
Go do
more
something else.
awareness or something around it. Definitely do something else. So for me, I have come to understand that the doubt is a decision point, right? I guess a place to re-engage, or I can't think of the word I'm trying to think of. Like just re-remember what my decision is. Reinforce, I suppose. Yeah, but I think I just need to be more, or I don't know, have more awareness of the doubt, like I was saying, of the doubt versus my own. It's all this other garbage that, well, right.
Yeah. And it's built too. I mean, it's like, you work on it. It's not, I mean, I could only say for me, I mean, it's still an exploration of it as like being able to recognize when it's the doubt and, when it's something else. And like that's where it gets tricky with doubt is because it like the energy of the doubt itself or the spirit of the doubt, it'll really just put on many masks and it'll mimic, other things or other energies or other spirits, and it'll try to convince you that it's something that it's not. And so, like with what you're doing with, building your intuition and deepening your intuitive abilities and really holding that intention for medicine, that's what's going to get you through it. That's what's going to be able to, so you just be able to shine that light on the Dow and just go, oh, that's that thing. All right, nope, not getting involved in that. Adios. And then you just plane right through it.
Well, it sounds so easy when you talk about it.
I'm not
There's
saying
my
it's easy.
doubt.
I'm not saying it's easy. I am not by any means
I
saying
know
this
you're
is easy,
not.
but that's the process of it. That's how it goes. And then,
Yeah.
like, I mean, I could only speak from my own experience. Like, I've had those experiences where I just plane right through it, and then I'll just keep showing back up and keep showing back up and keep showing back up. I'm like, oh my God, is this gonna be done? Like, I wake up in just like a shit storm of doubt, like, oh my God, if like, why am I doubting all of this shit? And then like I'll pay it a little bit of energy, and then when you pay it just that little bit of energy, that's when it starts to like really like try to like take a hold of you. And so. That's why I say it's like don't even give it a high. Don't even like just just plane right through it. Like, okay, I see it. I'm gonna go and I'm going to, keep going, on this path that really holds true meaning for me. Does the medicine really hold true meaning for you?
Are you asking me this right now?
Yes, I am asking you this right now. I'm asking you this right now just to, you know, ha for clarity, really.
Yeah, I mean it does.
And you know
As
that.
as as much as I feel like I stink at the practice of communicating with whoever I'm working with, whatever I'm working with, I do. There's like this sense inside of me that like the plants that I have worked with are the most supportive thing that I have. Just this like, I don't know,
So those plant
like
medicine spirits.
certainty about that.
Mm, sorry, I didn't know you. I
Not
didn't
too.
mean to cut you off. I was gonna say, so those plant medicine spirits that you work with, that you've invited to literally live inside your body and to be part of you, they hold, as you're saying, true and deep and purposeful meaning for you. That's
They
your
do.
guiding light. That's your guiding light. And you know it, right? Like you know that. That's the inner knowing for you.
I think
Is,
so.
is
Well,
that
yeah, it's just
accurate?
like a sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that's your inner knowing. That goes beyond just a doubt. You know it.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. The doubt for me, it came up a lot in my ceremonies also, or just some of the information I was getting. I just didn't know what was what. Um, and I've been having a lot of confusion, probably for a long time now, but really recognizing it more so recently. And then again, going back to what is my decision to help clear up some confusion, I guess, and to create some more certainty of like, this is the way that I'm walking, or this is the outcome that I'm walking to. I'm not exactly sure like what I'm walking through, but somehow heading in that direction.
Mm. That inspires me. When the doubt shows up, go back to the decision of medicine.
Yeah, I think too, something that I heard Hamilton talk about when he feels doubt is he also kind of checks in on what's not right, like if something off here, like, and I think that could be something really simple, like have I slept? Did I eat? Did I drink water? Did I exercise? Did I, check in with myself today? What do I need? All the really basic things that I'm not sure we're ever, directly taught, and they're so overlooked because they are so basic.
Mm. Yeah, that actually got me thinking, like, actually, I kind of want to have a practice where I just like ask myself, what do I really need today?
Yeah,
What
I
is
mean,
it?
that's what I did this morning when I went for a walk. I realized like I didn't even check in with myself. You just kind of like wake up and do the things that you're supposed to be doing. Right, like actually checking in, like, what do I need today? I guess that's partly building up that intuition. What practices do you do to help your intuition?
I really like to light a candle, and I like to invoke that candle to be a beacon for divine knowledge and wisdom, teaching me
Mm.
universality and love. And then I like to place a crystal in front of it. And then I like to gaze at that candle. I'm actually doing that right now. That's one practice. I actually do enjoy the breath work too. And I really enjoy doing different types of journey work through different realms and dimensions.
Mm.
Specifically to the strata dimension, because then I could just really focus on my own psyche and really, work on deepening my intuition. And actually, too, intuition, you and I are very similar in a way. Intuition for me for a long time was just so muddy and mucky. And a lot of it, was um, just experiences in life where I was told one thing but knew something completely different than that thing I was being told, and then I was told to believe that thing, even though I knew it was false. And then I sort of just created like a whole, like, you know, just like muck in my brain where like I knew something was true, even though I was told it wasn't true, and then I was told to believe the opposite of the truth. And so it created a lot of struggle for me. And so the journey worked to really just release those beliefs, release the belief systems, and yeah, and you know, it's ongoing. It's ongoing work. There's another journey that I really like to do, and it's when you open up the six directional gateways, you invoke your principal guide, and then you tell your principal guide to bring you a sign from nature as to what to do next. And then you go outside for a walk in nature, and then you become really receptive to nature and you release your expectations of, really what this sign is supposed to look like. And you go and you go and you go until you receive your sign from nature. And it could be multiple signs too. And then you return from the journey and then you close the six directional gateways. You thank your principal guide and you receive something from nature that, is based on your own intuition and based on the spirits communicating with you through that channel of communication.
Hmm.
And so like the way I think about it too is like sets, like like sets at a gym or something
Mhm.
like that. Like you can build strength with these things by, by doing these things over and over and over and you get better and better and better. There's another one too where you take a deck of cards and you ask a question that you already know the answer to, and then you pick three cards, and then you look at the cards, and you receive the answer from the cards. But I find it important to ask the question you already know the answer to. You just might need a little bit more clarity.
I feel like that's the same practice. I mean, almost is like when you're going in to get like a yes or a no from yourself. Like, is my name Melissa?
That's funny.
Is that the kind of like what kind of question would you ask? Like,
What kind of question would I ask? Let me see. Do
should
I
I
have
make
my
a
deck?
salad for lunch?
No, they're usually a bit deeper than that. Usually those things are already decided, so I don't even have to decide on those things. But I don't know. It could be like, um, how do I handle this situation at the job?
Mm,
Or how do I go about communicating clearly with this person? Or what is I don't know. It could be anything. It could be really anything. I mean, you if you really want to like be like, do I make a salad for lunch? Yes or no? I don't really I don't go for like the yes or no questions. You could. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. Just for me, I don't.
okay, I guess that's more so like the practice for the inside is you're asking for a yes or no, so you know like what a yes feels like inside versus what the no feels like.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. And there's really no right or wrong way to do it. There's just your way of doing it.
Yeah, I love how thoughtful you are.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
How about you?
How about me? What?
What are your practices to deepen your intuition? If you have any, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm a little bit unclear on this right now. Check back in with me.
Yeah, I highly
In
recommend the nature one. That
yeah,
one's
I'm
really
gonna try
fun.
that. Oh, and I do want to say something about that because you talked about the six directional gateways. So I think we should clear that up for people. I wonder if anyone's wondering what these are.
Yes, let's clear that up for people.
Yeah.
So, in shamanism, when you go and you're about to go on a journey, and it's not just used for journey work, but like this is what I was talking about in a journey, is you can close your eyes or not. It's up to you. I like closing my eyes for this. And so you close your eyes, you start in the blank space of the imagination, and you define the imagination as a visionary gateway that's free of any fantasy or fabrication, that sits in a state of clarity that can be used to be able to see in different worlds, realms, and dimensions. So that's where you start, and then you start invoking the six directional gateways of forward, backward, right, left, up, and down. Now, there's many ways to open it. You can have a rattle. You could rattle in the six directional gateways. You can, have a drum. You could drum in the six directional gateways, or you could just use your imagination to really focus on the visionary gateways of forward, backward, right, left, up, and down. And so once you invoke that, then with this particular ceremony, you would then, open your eyes and you would go outside and you would, then go somewhere out in nature and you would really become open and receptive to what these signs can be. And you release all expectations that you have about what it should look like or what it shouldn't look like. And And then yeah, once you receive all of your signs, you then come back and you return from nature, you return inside to your house, and then you close the six directional gateways. And again, this could look like many things. You could rattle in the direction of the six directional gateways, you could drum, you could just use, your imagination and close it that way. You can imagine a purple flame just coming in and closing it out. So that's the six directional gateways. And it's how you move too.
It's
So
like
like when
it's a definition of the space almost. Like if you were to look around your room, that's like the borders of what you could actually see.
yep. So it is how you move. It's how you move in the space.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. And while you were talking about that, so what came to me for how I use my intuition is by, or practice, which I feel like I need a lot more practice, but or by asking myself, what do I need or what do I want? Um, I do a lot of breath work to focus on my heart and a lot of like kind of like clearing out breath work. I think that's what I've been doing mostly recently, trying to move a lot and moving in a way that where it's like, what does my body or how does my body want to move? Whether that's like standing up or laying down. I think that's what I've been doing recently.
I like that movement one.
Yeah, well, it's like kind of like floor chi, but then also there's like authentic movement
Hmm.
where it's more of like not laying down, but just kind of like standing and letting your body move in whatever way it feels like it wants to move.
Hmm. I like that. I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, it's fun. You could add music, like depending on how you're feeling, to maybe like help that energy move. And so sometimes I like to do that. And then also like sometimes I like to add like, okay, this is how I want to feel. So first like letting whatever's active have its little say and its little like time to communicate. And we're helping not to move and then moving into, okay, well, I really want to be like, I'm powerful, unstoppable today.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then maybe moving to something, this is where I'm going or where I'm intending to go.
Hmm. I like all those suggestions that you do.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe not suggestions, but you telling me what you're doing. And then I kind of want to go try that. I haven't done authentic movement in a while. It's a
Mm.
great practice.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good way to move your body.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's good to release energy, right? So the energy releasing ways, moving, tuning, and breathing. You could also, right, like match your breath to the movement. I think that's kind of helpful too.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah, so like if you're feeling sad, maybe you're going to be breathing slower. And if you're like angry, maybe you're breathing a little faster. There's also this pulse breath you could use, which is that one goes good with movement.
Ooh,
So it's kind of like inhale, 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 exhale, 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 exhale.
now how long do you do that for? The pulsating breath. Is that what the pulsating?
Pulsing, pulse
Oh,
breath.
pulsing? Pulse
Yeah,
breath?
I mean,
How long do you do that
whatever.
for?
I mean, as long as it feels good, maybe like a whole song
Mm,
or like a whole playlist.
wow.
Sometimes I do it when I'm walking too. I was doing it
Hmm.
this morning when I was walking.
Nice, nice. Learning some new breathwork
Yeah,
techniques.
yeah, that's courtesy of Sam Skelly and the Pause breathwork course. Energy activating pattern is more of like maybe you're not feeling, you don't know exactly what you're feeling, so you're just kind of like getting in there and moving. And then also like giving your feelings or sensations, like maybe, because we've talked about this before, it's kind of hard to name them or put like a descriptive word to like what you're viscerally feeling.
Mm.
But sometimes maybe in your, ooh, sorry, I just got a really big cramp in my leg. Oh,
Did you
so
drink enough water?
no, I actually haven't been drinking enough water. My butt, I've been very like, I'm not drinking water. I've been living from this little, I've been letting the little girl run the show. Um, so what happens is with your, like when you go in and you sense the feelings or the sensations, usually what's also associated is something like in the mind. So instead of maybe giving it a name, you could give it like a texture or a color, and then you could kind of like work with that. So like maybe imagining like it's like a red color. So like you're imagining red as you're moving and helping that to clear out. And then so that's the energy activating. And then there's also the energy clearing, which is, I mean, they're both very similar. One is just maybe you're not exactly sure what's going on and you're moving to get to have help something move. And the clearing is just to help clear it out too. And then I'm not sure what the name of the other one would be, but where you're just moving to, this is what I want to move into. This is the feeling that I want more of. Because I think that's something I have to be way more mindful of is, or I do have a lot of power to create what I want to create. And that starts with like feeling it in your body first.
Hmm. Yeah, and it just it like makes me think about like open creativity and really how, it requires you to be in a really receptive state to your own creativity.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's another good intuition practice, right? Like just exercising your creativity.
Yeah. Yeah, and it could look like so many things too.
Oh, for sure. I think it's important to remind yourself of that and to also then like maybe be mindful when you're creating
As to what you're creating.
as to what, but also that you even are creating. Like
Yeah, too.
yeah, like what comes up for me is so like every morning when I'm drinking my cacao, like I'm first of all I'm using this like cacao that I roasted the beans and hulled the beans and then ground the beans and then ground them again and made the
Ooh,
cacao butter. So
that
like
sounds amazing.
there's like a whole process behind that. So like a lot of intention and work went into it. And then when I'm making my cacao, like I could choose to be like creating this drink, or I could just choose. and which is also, a powerful medicine. Or I could
Yeah.
just choose to be like robotic about the whole thing and like, this is what I do in the morning. I'm just doing it as more of a routine. So I think we get that choice.
That's beautiful. Like makes me think of like when I'm brushing my teeth. I'm creating clean teeth. I'm creating
Yeah, I'm creating
cleansing.
like a healthy body. I something I always realize when I brush my teeth is that I'm going like I'm like, wait, slow down. Why do you have to brush your teeth so fast?
That's funny. That's really funny. I do the same thing, and then I'm like, why do my gums always bleed? Well, because you're sitting there like,
Why am I so aggressively brushing my teeth here?
yeah. I think it's more, for me, it was more of like a thing. Like, I just want to get this done and get on to the next thing,
Yeah,
rather
probably.
than just
That's
like
what
enjoy it.
it's like my kids, they brush their teeth for like not even a minute, like a second. I'm like, come on now.
Oh yeah,
They
it's
actually
funny.
make toothbrushes that have little like timers built in, so press a little button and like it lights up for 2 minutes. My kids use those. I still don't think they brush their teeth for 2 minutes.
Who brushes their teeth for 2 minutes?
You could, well, if you have an electric toothbrush, sometimes too they have those settings on them, and it kind of like goes off for. I think you can do it for even longer than 2 minutes, and then, like that way you do like each section for an extended period of time.
Hmm. So it sounds like, you're integrating like, really opening your creativity and being open to what you're creating.
Yeah, and
Like you
just
said
like
with the cacao and all of that and my silly brushing your teeth. Even though it's really true. It's really true. Like if you're mindful about brushing your teeth, you're aware of what you're doing. And
yeah.
I redefine that as strength too. Like look at what you're
Mm,
doing. You're creating a strong and healthy body. It might seem like
yeah.
something so small, but it's like all of those things add up over time. And that's really the definition of strength is it's going to allow you to keep doing the next thing.
Yeah, I like that. It also reminds me of something that Jasmine always says, where, every like the doing is the meditation.
Mm, mm,
Like you get to choose to be meditating on what it is you want all day long.
mhm. Yeah, you do get to choose. It's
Yeah.
actually really I got a story about that. So yesterday, seriously, yesterday I almost like started like crying in the grocery store because I was like, I've been such an asshole to people. Oh my God. So there's this woman at my job and she still wears a mask. And I remember like before I went to Peru, I was like I had some like pretty negative thoughts about her. And she would like try to like enforce things too. And like I don't know, just like kind of nonsensical things. But apparently her husband was like suffering from some kind of disease, right? And like I saw her and her husband yesterday, and I realized like she loves that person so much that she's willing to go into a store double masked still. I was like, even though it might not make sense, it still doesn't make sense to me. Like the whole double mask thing, it still does not make sense to me. But like I realized it was like a pure act of love that this woman's doing because she loves someone else enough to, like at least think about this person in terms of like, well, I don't want this person to be sick. I was like, oh my God. Like I've been
Mm,
creating like this like douchebaggery thoughts in my mind for like ever, and I realized like it was just an act of love from this woman.
mm.
So yeah, you
That's
are what like as far as like creating, you
Yeah, what a
know.
great lesson there for you to then get to have compassion for yourself for being, directing those thoughts to her.
Yeah,
And for
yeah,
her, wow, that really is such an act of love
yeah,
for like supporting the person that she lives with and their health in that way.
yeah. It's like wow.
Yeah, it's such a good lesson too that right, we're always just assuming about people and who really knows what their intentions are.
Exactly. Yeah. There's like so much like assumptions in my own mind.
Yeah. That reminds me of, when I would hate on Donald Trump or something, and I would think, like, he must love somebody. Like, in his way, he must love his kids or his wife, or I don't know, do they have a dog? Something. Like, he must. It's like the Grinch, right? Even though his heart's so tiny,
He had
he
a
loves
dog
a
that he loved.
dog.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that was something. Oh, sorry to interrupt you. That was definitely
That's
something
okay.
that came up for me in one of my ceremonies, was just like how fucking precious like everything in life really is. And I don't know if sometimes like I just can't take all the preciousness, and so you just kind of like numb everything out, because really
Yeah.
everything has this like fuck, it's like a fucking miracle.
Those plants
But
really
I'm
do.
too busy. Like,
Yeah.
I'm too
Yeah.
busy to notice, or I'm too in my head, or I'm too like cursing out this douchebag who is not even a fucking douchebag. Like, who's the douchebag now? And I think
Uh,
it started out like with
it
preciousness for my kids, but I was just like overwhelmed by just like how fucking precious life really is.
really is.
Ugh, I can't take it.
Yeah, the plants have like this just tremendous way of just like getting into your heart and just opening it up. That was, yeah, yeah. You and I had actually like a very similar experience then of just like realizing that I've just been rushing through life to just try to get to the next thing, the next thing, and the next thing because I wasn't really satisfied with my life at the time. And I was missing so much. I was missing everything that was going on around me almost, and like creating all these judgments and everything else, and being all poopy pants because of whatever, really. And yeah, like you said,
Yeah.
the plants are quite amazing teachers. So you've experienced that like just heart opening state that the plants give you of just like realizing, life is really, really precious. There's like so many just little precious moments. There's an infinite number of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's happening all day long. All day, every day. Can't stop, won't stop. But yet we really, I do it.
I do it.
I turn like, yeah, I just turn it off. Turn that awareness like all the way down.
Mm. I've been working on really trying to be aware of it
Yeah,
and turn
turn it
that
all the
awareness
way
all
up.
the way up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
like I
I
said,
mean, yeah. I was
go
gonna say
ahead.
that, God's in through and all around everything, so
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just like that recognition, like when you truly realize that the divine is really in, through, and all around everyone and everything. It's just like, oh my God, I've missed it this whole time.
I know.
But that's
I
okay. I
know.
think that's okay. It's just like, because then it do like let's not like wallow in the past stories of it. Let's just become aware of it right now and just like
Mm.
actually really how precious this moment is too. Of just like being able to connect with a friend, like that's pretty cool. And talk about these really awesome plant medicines. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I know it's been helpful for me because, like I said, I've been wearing the poopy pants. I've been sitting in my own shit, as Dr. Sam likes to say.
Shit happens. I think we
It certainly does happen, that's for sure.
I think
We
we've
have
all
a
been
book
there.
called Everybody Poops.
Exactly. Everybody
It's
poops.
like the, it's so funny too, because it's like, I think of this sometimes, right? Like everything poops. But it's like that thing where like no one like talks about it, or everyone's like, that's gross. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like the ultimate, I don't know, like it's like the like levels the playing field for everyone, but and yet we're like all in denial of it.
It is true.
Yeah, like you're not even supposed to like talk about it. I sometimes think like when I go to ask people like where's the bathroom, I shouldn't even say bathroom. I should say like restroom. Like can't even say the word bathroom.
Uh, point me to the loo.
Where's the shitter?
Where's the shitter? Yeah, that's the best one. I love that one. You know you're from New York.
I just have
You're
like,
you're from the Northeast, that's for sure.
is that what they say up here in the Northeast? Where's the
Yeah.
shitter? Oh,
Where's the
shit.
shitter? Yeah.
Those damn Northeasterners. It reminds
That's
me of,
funny.
have you seen the movie Christmas Vacation?
Oh yeah, yeah. I love that
When
one.
Rusty, is that the, not, no, the cousin? What's the cousin's
The
name?
brother?
No, where they
Cousin.
come in the camper van and he's like emptying out the sewer into he's emptying out the like the van sewage
Yeah, I
into
thought that was
Clark's
his
sewer.
brother for some
I think it's
reason.
like the cousin.
But I know who you're talking about now. Yeah. That movie's great. I love that movie.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Just let me empty my shitter on your lawn. No, no, not the right place.
Yeah, definitely not the right place. Put that in the bathroom. That's the only place that belongs. Thank God we have plumbing.
Right? Like, I mean, modern technology.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hmm.
I might get all poopy pants on like the industrialized world, but fuck, I'm appreciative we got a toilet and a shower
Yeah. With hot water
with hot water,
and a
especially.
flush toilet.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not just tossing our shit out on the street anymore.
Or like you just don't have to pour it in a bucket. Yeah, I mean, I think that would, or pour the bucket like of water down the hole. But yeah, I think that was like a huge turn for modern people, right? Like not having the shit be in the streets and everything. Like really helped health
Yeah, I heard
and
this thing where
longevity.
yeah, I heard this thing where it was like the biggest contribution to health and longevity has been indoor plumbing. I don't you know what? I actually trust that to be pretty factual if you think about it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was
especially,
talking about in one of the kids' doctor's visits. They were talking about the same kind of thing once.
especially in cities too. Like, I think if you were
Yeah.
like in the country or like out in the sticks, you probably be all right unless you're just like living in your own shit. But in cities, like, yeah, thank God for plumbing,
Or so
indoor
many
plumbing.
people are living close together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You notice how, really working with the plant medicine spirits that they really attune you to like actually the miracles of life, like indoor plumbing. Like how much like that's a miracle. Some like think about that. Somebody had to invent that. And I have no idea like how any of that works. Like, besides like I flush the toilet and it goes down. Yay.
Yeah, yeah. That's something I've heard Jordan Peterson talk a lot about, like how we are just so lucky that, right, the plumbing works. When you go to turn on the light, it works. When you open the refrigerator, all your food is cold. When you open the freezer, everything is frozen. That the bus comes on time, that the traffic lights work, like all these things, like we really take them for granted, but like you say, I mean everything's a fucking miracle. It's not like one thing is and the other thing isn't. Like there's no
Right.
fucking duality when it comes to miracles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or there's no fucking duality when it comes to anything. But you know, not one thing is like a bigger miracle than the other. I don't know, maybe Jesus like rising from the tomb. That seemed like it was a pretty fucking big deal. I don't know.
Yeah.
My
Um,
miracle's better than your miracle.
it's funny. You know what? Now that you put it that way, that's yeah, that holds no validity, right? Like thinking like, yes, my miracle is totally better than yours. Yeah, no. It's just a miracle. A miracle is a miracle. Like shout out to that guy who invented indoor plumbing or a gal, I
I'm
don't
really
know.
digging on that right now.
We are. It's just a good example. It's a good example though of just like Like if you're so caught up in your own mental world that it's sort of just like it really does blind you to really the miracle of life all around you. Or
Yeah,
like even the trees and the roses and like think about how many like millions of years of evolution had to go on this planet just to produce a rose or a tree or you know a human,
a
the
human.
ocean. Yeah.
Oh my God, thank God for the oceans and all the water.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've definitely noticed how the plant medicines really, really do like just attune me to all of that. And you've noticed the same thing?
I mean, I'm tuning in.
You're tuning in right now. You're tuned in.
Yeah, I mean, for a while, like, God, I know there's something so deep here, but I get so distracted by all the other nonsense. And it's not nonsense, right? Again, like, I'm not going to call one thing a miracle and the other thing not. I think it's all a form of reality, whether it's an illusion or delusion or a fantasy. It's still all something I'm like living in.
Yeah, and I mean we get like we have to take care of our responsibilities. I think it's just like we get caught up into thinking like there's not enough time to then do the spiritual work. But that would go back to, tenet number two of sanctuary consciousness. Time is infinite and space is eternal. There's plenty of time.
Yeah, and I think again going back to like the advice that Jasmine gives and kind of what we're talking about now, like everything, like you really can't get away from the spiritualness of it all, especially when you choose to be aware of it. I mean, like spirit is the driving force of everything. And just how we're
Mm.
saying, like everything is miraculous, everything is infused in through and all around it with divinity. It's just like what is there? It's just what exists. Just what are you choosing? So it's not like you have to be. Of course, I would rather like go be spiritual in the jungle, like undisturbed and in nature. But I mean, you get to do it here too, you know, in your house with the kids, brushing your teeth,
Taking a
flushing the
shit.
toilet. Right. I mean, just like we tell the kids, I think we've talked about this here before. Like, God is in through and all around your shit, just as well as He's in through and all around your candle and your fucking ceremony, It's everywhere. It's in your boogers. That's what we talk about with the kids.
It's a very practical lesson.
Hmm. Hmm. They like it. It
Uh,
appeals to their poopy pants sense of humor. Speaking about poopy, really funny. I'm not sure how many people will find humor in this, but we were talking about, just trying to, I guess, bring more awareness to my kids. And I'm not exactly sure what yet. We still haven't gotten it. We still haven't come to the full evolution of it, but just like the spirits and helping them, like on the path that Louis and I have chosen. So we were telling them about Papatua, and they're like, "Oh, Pupatua," and then they put on these masks, and they were like pretending to be Pupatua. And I told Hamilton, I'm like, yeah, I told the kids about Papatua, and they're just like, thought it was so funny that it was Pupatua. And Hamilton's like, well, he does do that to a lot of people. If you can't handle Pupatua, he'll show you the way to the toilet.
That'd be funny if like like in the future go and drink ayahuasca and then like that comes back to them calling it pupa too like while they're on the toilet.
Damn you, Pupatua!
Ah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, yeah. I might share that Papatua is the head medicine spirit of ayahuasca.
Hmm.
in the lineage that we have been taught in, the culmination of all of the spirits that are a part of the ayahuasca medicine.
That's just of the highest vibration.
Highest. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, Papa
Papatua.
Tua is quite an energy, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Mm-hmm. I've
Hmm.
been quite poopy about Papatua recently.
Have you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Uh,
And he loves me anyway. That's actually something too that happened in my ceremony. In the first ceremony I had, where I was just like a mess. I was like crying and I couldn't breathe from crying so much, and it was just like blowing my nose without tissues because nothing was even coming out.
mm,
But all of a sudden, like in the midst of this, like whatever I was doing changed, and I was just there with Papatua, and he's like, "I love you." I'm like, "No, I love you." And he's like, "No, I love you." I'm like, "I love you." And we're having this like who loves you more contest, and like I just felt all this love from Papatua.
It sounds like you were just being really, really playful when it was
Mm-hmm.
just totally responding with playfulness. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, and then probably a few ceremonies later, I'm like, "Fuck you, Papatua."
Then what
Where are
happened?
you? Why'd you abandon me? And then I got shown more love.
I think Papa Tua was probably what was telling us before, telling you before of your shadow needs more love, not less.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Mm,
Yeah.
I think all of the plant medicine spirits teach that.
More love.
More love, not less.
Yeah.
Be gentle with yourself. You're human. You're gonna make mistakes. That's okay. You can
Yeah.
learn from them.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm on board with all that.
Me too. Me too. Hmm. Well, Melissa, is there anything else you'd like to add in this episode?
No.
Okay.
I said everything I need to say today. It's been very helpful though to have this conversation with you today. So I appreciate you, Nick.
I appreciate you too, Melissa, and your friendship. This is always a lot of fun for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So, with that being said, check out, I don't want to get the name wrong again. Check out Young You Organics with an X, and I'm going to be posting a link down below in the conversation. And if you'd like to go and do some ayahuasca, go to Blue Morpho. There will be a link in that bio. And thanks for tuning in. And if you really enjoyed the conversation, give us a thumbs up, subscribe. It's always nice to have subscribers. And yeah, thanks for joining us on this journey. If you've made it this far, we really appreciate you.
You're a miracle, just like
You're a
we are.
miracle. Yes, and your poop is a
Yeah.
miracle too.
Your poop is a miracle. Even your shit.
Even all your shit. Literally and metaphorically.
All right. Bye. Thank you.
Peace.